Hello and welcome to Very Hard Questions, the quiz contest that unsurprisingly asks the very hardest questions on television. I often ask myself very hard questions like, what was the best thing before sliced bread? Well, now we've assembled some of the very brightest brains in Britain to do battle in the very hardest of quizzing competitions. The more points our teams can score, the greater their chance of winning a place in the grand final, where the victors will walk away with a £5,000 prize, this magnificent trophy, and the crown of Very Hard Questions series champion. Playing today are Richard, Pete and Tessa. They are singers on buzzers, and their opponents are Kathy, Deryn and Steve, also known as shrewd operators. We tossed a coin backstage, and singers on buzzers, you will go first. Welcome, singers on buzzers. I mean, clever name, but where did you come from?
All three of us have a bit of a singing background. This is all provided you're not going to ask us for any evidence. We're all good at...
Well, I might, because I sing myself.
Do you? What voice are you?
Well, I was a treble chorister at Winchester Cathedral.
How's your
you
treble
show
now?
me yours and I'll show you mine.
Well, let's... later, maybe, when the cameras are off, maybe.
Go on, give me one chord.
Oh.
I'll be faithful. Very nice. Exactly what I wanted.
Thank you.
Does that make you as good a quizzing team as you are singing team?
We can only hope so. We'll have to wait and see.
I didn't think you were very good singers.
Oh, well, yes.
OK. Well, great to meet you all. Time to meet your opponents. Welcome to the show, Shrewd Operators. Why so?
Well, we are all from Shrewsbury in Shropshire.
Ah.
And these two, Kath and Steve, also support the Shrews, which is the Shrewsbury football team.
And how do you know each other?
Kath and I know each other because we met by the pub quiz machine.
Mm-hmm.
And this is her son.
Steve, I gathered that you are a theatre director.
That's right, yep. I make plays.
Pantomimes?
Yes, very much.
Really?
Yeah, I've just...
I hope you won't turn this into a pantomime.
Oh, yes, I will.
Well, great to meet you all, and best of luck today. If you're ready, let's play Very Hard Questions. Now, in round one, each team will answer 4 very hard questions. But to help, you have 7 clues to use across the round. First letter gives you the first letter of the first word of the answer. Picture clue offers up a visual cryptic clue. Extra fact gives you more information about the answer. Definition is a dictionary-style description of the answer. Add words inserts more information into the question itself. Different question allows you another question with the same answer. And related words, which are 3 words all connected to the answer. The clues will help you narrow down the answer, but every time a clue is used, it'll cost you a point, and you won't be able to use it again in the round. So use them wisely and make sure you don't end up completely clueless. Singers on buzzers, let's have a look at your first very hard question. Who wrote the essay Silly Novels by Lady Novelists that was published in the Westminster Review and claimed that non-realistic writing by female novelists was reinforcing prejudice against educating women?
Any thoughts at all?
No, none at all.
I mean, how recent do you think that was written?
Can you answer for 4, or do you need a clue?
It's not going to be a Bronte. It's not going to be or Virginia Woolf.
I don't know, that sounds sort of like late 19th, early 20th century, sort of,
Okay.
to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have thought a different question might be helpful.
Different question.
What do you think?
What do you think?
It's worth 4 points until you take a clue, if you're going to take one.
Sure, let's try a different question then.
Different question.
Can we please have a different question, John?
Different question. Which author created the literary character Maggie Tulliver, who has been portrayed on screen by Emily Watson?
George Eliot, Marian Evans.
OK, we think we'd like to answer.
Yes?
It's George Eliot.
For 3 points, let's see if George Eliot is the correct answer. George Eliot. And of course, George Eliot, the pen name of Mary Ann Evans, served as editor of the Westminster Review, which at the time was unusual for a woman. Where did you get the answer from?
From Richard.
Where did you conjure it?
I studied The Mill on the Floss for A-level English literature, and so I know Maggie Tulliver.
Well, Maggie Tulliver is the main character in George Eliot's novel, The Mill on the Floss. You've scored 3 points. Shrewd operators, here's your first very hard question. A shipwreck, first discovered by research firm Intersal in 1996, was 15 years later confirmed to have belonged to whom at the time of its sinking?
Right. Well, 96.
I've got a feeling it could be the Spanish Armada and Philip of Spain, but I don't know.
Oh.
Well,
Or
it's
shall we
4
go-
points if you think you can get it now.
I think different question might
Different
be
question?
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd
Okay.
be another fact about the
Well-
historical figure.
Good point. We'd like different question, please, John.
Different question. Israel Hands, a character in Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, was a real-life person commonly believed to have been second in command to whom?
Oh, gosh. I certainly wouldn't have been Philip of Spain, I wouldn't have thought. Oh, gosh.
Doubt it.
Right, doubt
I
it.
think we should go for first letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we have first letter, please?
First letter
Yeah.
is B.
B. Who would have owned it? Beginning with B.
2 points it's worth.
Oh, it wouldn't have been something like Blackbeard, would it? Would he have been
yeah,
a
Yeah, the
pirate?
pirate.
Shout.
Yeah, go on. You
you think
Let's
that's
go
good? Let's
for it,
go
'cause
for
I
that?
don't
Yeah.
think we'll get it from anything
Yeah.
else.
OK, we would like to say Blackbeard, the pirate.
For 2 points, let's see if Blackbeard is the correct answer. Well, that's absolutely amazing. That came out of absolutely nowhere.
I watched Pirates of the Caribbean the other day, so perhaps that was in my head. But
Oh, well. The wreck was confirmed to be Blackbeard's ship, named Queen Anne's Revenge. And you score 2 points. Singers on buzzers, let's have a look at your second very hard question. The episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, in which a contestant first won the jackpot in the UK, was broadcast at the same time as Things Aren't Simple Anymore, the final episode of which television series?
1 foot in the grave.
Really? Well, are you sure?
Julia Keppel up against Victor Emoji's death. It was 2 huge
Okay, then, yeah.
watershed moments. It's 1 foot in the grave.
Okay,
That's why I didn't. Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah,
take
do
it.
it.
Full consent.
Yeah.
We'd like to say 1 foot in the grave.
For 4 points, let's see if 1 foot in the grave is the correct answer. That is stunning. That is the correct answer, and it's a 4-pointer.
Wow.
Your very first one of the show. The 2 episodes were both broadcast on the 20th of November 2000. In 1 foot in the grave, Victor Meldrew's wife, Margaret, was coming to terms with his death. You didn't use any clues, and so you get the full 4 points. Shrewd operators, let's have a look at your second very hard question. Daniel Craig appeared with Stephen Ray and Francesca Annis in a 2002 television film adaptation of which play by Michael Frayn?
Really hoped we weren't going to get a theatre question.
Is that noises off?
right.
Well, Michael Frayn wrote Noises
he
Off,
did write noises off.
but
Do you
I
know this, or-
couldn't give you a big list of Michael Frayn plays to name other ones.
No, neither could I.
It's worth 4 points. Take a clue and go down to 3.
Which clue are we going to try then?
Maybe go for the picture clue and hope it relates to the title and we recognise the title.
Okay.
That's true, we could try that. OK, we would like the picture clue, please, John.
Picture clue.
Yes. Right then. Well, doesn't look like.
Does it look like Copenhagen?
It could look like
Yeah.
Copenhagen,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm pretty sure he wrote a play called Copenhagen.
Right then. That
Shall we have a go
sounds a
at the
possibility. Right then. We are going to go with Steve and we're going to say Copenhagen.
For 3 points, let's see if Copenhagen is the correct answer. Copenhagen it is.
I can keep my equity card.
You keep your reputation. That's
Well done.
The play is about a mysterious 1941 meeting between physicists Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg, who came together to discuss the atomic bomb. And you score 3 points. We are at the halfway point of round 1. Singers on buzzers have shot into the lead with a very impressive 7 points. Shrewd operators are only just behind with 5 points. Join me after the break for more very hard questions. Welcome back to Very Hard Questions, where both our teams are vying for a top 2 spot on the leaderboard and a place in the end of series final. Singers on buzzers, let's have a look at your third very hard question. According to Royal Museums Greenwich, which architect was commissioned to design the Queen's house in Greenwich in 1616, supposedly as a gift after the King swore in front of the Queen Consort?
OK.
1616 is roughly the same as the banqueting house designed by Inigo Jones.
Hello, that's good. Do we know any other architects?
I can't think of a
from
single one.
the
At
early
first, it was
16th?
I. That would be the answer.
Well,
But I
one would be
wouldn't.
later, wouldn't he?
I wouldn't.
Yes, yeah.
And the bows.
Because if he was going to be building off
Bows.
that's 50 years before the fire.
Yeah, that's right. So
It's worth 4 points.
Can we take first letter?
we can, of course. Yeah, happy? Could we have a first letter, please, John?
First letter. I.
Then in that case, John, we'd like to say Inigo Jones.
For 3 points, let's see if Inigo Jones is the correct answer. Inigo Jones it is. Anne of Denmark had apparently accidentally killed one of the favourite dogs of James I during a hunt, which caused the king to swear. And it scores you 3 points. Shrewd operators, let's have a look at your third very hard question. It has been reported that which singer, born in 1944, claimed in an interview that when her band recorded their UK Top 40 single, she didn't know what the song was about, in part because of the language in which some of the lyrics are written.
So, but she's got a band. Who's not going to know what the song's about?
Their UK Top 40 singles suggested they're one-hit wonder as well.
Because it's referring to one, isn't it?
Can you answer for 4, or do you need a clue?
I think another fact. Do you think that might help?
Yeah.
Right, we'd like another clue, please. Can we have an extra fact, please?
Extra fact. During her solo career, she had a UK Top 10 single with On My Own, a duet with Michael McDonald.
No
No
idea.
thoughts?
No idea. We should have another clue, shouldn't we?
I think we'd better have another clue.
Related words?
Yes, please. Can we have the clue related words, please, John?
Related words. Bluebells, Godmother, Burning.
Gosh.
Well,
I
Burning
keep
the
thinking
Way
Light
it's
My Fire.
bad.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be
Lulu,
Lulu. No.
Oh, yeah, she did a song.
Was she in
Well,
a
she's
band? though?
Scottish. The Bluebells are a Scottish band. Was she in a band first? Lulu?
You can use another clue, but it'll take you down to
What
1
are we going
point.
to do? Clue? Clue or a
Go
guess?
for a dictionary definition of a person?
Can we have a definition, please?
Definition.
Yes.
US singer known for her disco and soul hits, first as part of a group and later as a solo artist.
Oh, it's not
Who did-
Diana Ross.
Worth 1 point.
Are we going to say Diana Ross?
Say Diana Ross then,
Right,
yeah.
Diana Ross.
For 1 point. Let's see if Diana Ross is the correct answer. Oh dear,
Oh,
She wasn't
afraid
in
it's
disco,
not.
was she?
no.
bad luck. The correct answer is Patti LaBelle.
Oh,
The singer was Lady Marmalade, and the refrain in question is Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, which translates as Do you want to sleep with me tonight? She said, I didn't know what it was about. I don't know French, and nobody, I swear, this is God's truth, nobody at all told me what I just sung a song about. Can you believe it? Bad luck, shrewd operators. You don't score any points for that one. Singers on buzzers, and let's have a look at your final, very hard question of the round. Which animated Disney film that includes voice performances by Barbara Luddy and Larry Roberts is based on a short story by Ward Green?
Guess Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely get clues.
So, yeah.
It's worth 4 points.
The definition?
What do you think? Definition? What do you feel?
That or related words, I don't mind.
John, can we have definition, please?
Definition. Animated film featuring the characters Jock and Trusty and the song Bellanotte.
Oh, I think that is Lady and the Tramp.
That is, isn't it? Jock's the little town.
Yeah,
the little
I think 'cause they're both dogs, and Bellanotte is.
Is
I
that, what,
think.
is that the song?
Is that-
that's
I
the
think
song
that's
with having
the,
spaghetti.
it's the pasta song. I think.
Yeah, I think you were right first time.
We happy?
Yeah, go for
Go
it.
on.
We think it's Lady and the Tramp.
For 3 points, let's see if Lady and the Tramp is the correct answer. Well, that is the correct answer. Where did it come from?
I've got 3 children, one of whom won't stop watching Disney films, so it was actually delightful to hear about a Disney film that isn't Frozen. So it was nice to think about anything outside of the princess world.
That is pretty formidable answering, and it scores you 3 points. Shrewd operators, let's have a look at your final, very hard question of this round. Which English football team achieved the double by winning the FA Cup and league title in the year that Queen Victoria celebrated her Diamond Jubilee?
So football teams, there's not that many teams that have actually won the double.
Right.
Was it Bury or Bolton?
Yeah.
Well, Bolton
Northern
won the
one.
cup back then, but Arsenal's likely.
But I don't think they were in the league then, were they? They weren't in the first league, Arsenal. It was all northern teams. Shall
Don't
we?
know.
Well, shall we
Well,
go
we've
for
got
the
one clue.
We've got one clue left, so we might as well have
Let's
it.
add
Yes?
some words, eh?
We'd like some add words, please, John.
Add words. Which English football team based in the West Midlands achieved the double by winning the FA Cup and league title in the year that Queen Victoria celebrated her Diamond Jubilee?
Stoke were in the first league.
Yeah,
but
lovely.
What about Wolves?
Aston
Are they not?
Villa were in it. Wolves were in it.
Wolves.
Should we go Villa just because your granddad played for them?
Well, yeah, go on then.
Go on, then. Should we do that?
Yeah, go on then,
Because we definitely don't
don't
know.
know.
No?
No.
Okay, right. Because Kath's granddad played for them, we are going to go with Aston Villa, please, John.
This is a slight departure from what I've understood as quizzing, but never mind. For 3 points, let's see if Aston Villa is the correct answer. Wow! Well, that must be one of the most obscure pieces of reasoning that have visited a quiz.
It
in a long
worked.
time.
It worked.
Granddad played for Aston Villa.
My granddad played in the 1911 season for Aston Villa, and his name was John McLaverty.
Well, that's a pretty good connection, and it scores you 3 points. We are at the end of round one. After a 4-pointer and some formidable answering from singers on buzzers, they are in the lead on 13 points. Shrewd operators are just behind on 8 points, but it can all change in round two when our teams will face more very hard questions. Welcome back to Very Hard Questions. Our teams have safely navigated their way through round one. Let's get straight on with round two. In this round, you will tackle your own board of 3 questions. But be warned, answer a question incorrectly and your round is instantly over, and any points scored in that round will be lost. You now have only 5 clues to use across all 3 questions. And remember, the more clues you use, the more points you lose. Let's have a look at your clues. Different questions and extra fact, both of which you have already seen. Multiple choice, you'll see 4 possible answer options, but only 1 is correct. Audio clue, you'll be played an oral hint to the answer. And redacted text, you'll see a sentence containing the answer, but the key information has been censored. Singers on buzzers, here's your board of 3 questions. Question 1. Before becoming a chart-topping performer, which singer released an eponymous Christian music album with tracks including My Own Monster and Spit? Question 2. When measured from the centre of the Earth to its peak, the tallest mountain in the world is in which country? Question 3. Coached by their mother from an early age, who was the first tennis player to win the US Open singles title on 3 different types of surface? So which one are you going to tackle first, Pete?
OK,
I have a feeling number 2 is something like Chimborazo in Ecuador.
yes. And how are we feeling
So an
about, how are
extra
we feeling
fact
about
would be
tennis?
useful for
I
that.
think that's Jimmy Connors.
OK.
Which question are you going to tackle?
Question 3, I think, John.
Coached by their mother from an early age, who was the first tennis player to win the US Open singles title on 3 different types of surface?
So,
The only reason it's worth gambling is to save the clue, not to get the extra 1 point.
I'd rather lose 1 than all of them.
We just have to remember that if you get the answer wrong, your round is over right now. No points.
Different question.
Yes. Can we please have a different question, John?
Different question. Who was engaged to fellow tennis player Chris Evert, leading them to be dubbed the Lovebird Double in 1974?
OK.
Did he go out with Chris
That
Evert?
is Everett. That's what that is.
Is it?
He won Wimbledon in '74. Oh, I mean, You can put it on me, Pete. I think the answer is Jimmy Connors, and that second clue in the year have given me confirmation bias.
OK.
Do you want to risk extra
Can we go?
facts, or should we?
Yeah?
Yep.
Let's do it. OK, in that case, we are going slightly crazy. I think we're going to go with Jimmy Connors.
For 3 points, let's see if Jimmy Connors is correct. Jimmy Connors. He is likely to be the only one to do so, as the US Open was played on grass from 1881 to 1974, then clay from 1975 to 1977, and hard courts from 1978 onwards. And it scores you 3 points. Which question would you like to tackle next?
OK. Could we tackle question 2, please, John?
Question 2. When measured from the centre of the Earth to its peak, the tallest mountain in the world is in which country?
So we've got some ideas, so we're hoping that multiple choice might whittle those ideas down, hopefully.
Multiple choice.
Yes, please.
Nepal, Ecuador, Japan, Colombia.
No, I said Ecuador before, and I said it was either that or Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, it seems...
I said that on the... I mean,
is the extra fact?
3 points so far. You'll lose all your points if you answer wrongly right now.
Yes.
I am not brave at all now.
Oh, man. OK, well...
The answer is Ecuador, but
let's do it then.
confirm.
OK, let's do it then. Once again...
No.
Yeah. I think we're going to answer now, I think, John.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What bravery.
Really?
No, maybe we shouldn't.
Why are you...
Why don't you get an extra fact?
You want to take an extra fact?
I kind of do.
OK,
Yeah,
go on
yes,
then. In that
yes.
case, I'm going to bow to peer pressure and be a responsible team captain. Could we have an extra fact, please, John?
Extra fact. The mountain is called Chimborazo.
Yes, in that case, we would like to answer Ecuador, please, John.
This is for 2 points, but if you answer incorrectly, then you're out of this round. For 2 points, let's see if Ecuador is the correct answer. Ecuador. Well done. Excellent. You are really playing a blinder, you lot.
You two on your own on the next one.
The summit of Chimborazo, a volcanic mountain in the Ecuadorian Andes, is around 2 kilometres further from the centre of the Earth than Everest, because Earth is not spherical, but is flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. And it scores you 2 points. Let's take a look at your final question. Question 1. Before becoming a chart-topping performer, which singer released an eponymous Christian music album with tracks including My Own Monster and Spit?
I don't know.
But
Something like Taylor Swift hasn't secretly done.
I'm going to say we don't know enough about this
we definitely want
to
this.
risk things. So let's...
We take both, unless you recognise the
No,
sound.
not at all.
Yeah, I would be...
Could we please have the redacted text, please, John?
Redacted text. Comedy is like music. There are genres and styles for every taste. Blank is there for people who like frothy pop music. Lisa Lampanelli.
Something like, it's Taylor Swift or something like that.
It could be.
5 points in this round so far. The stakes are high. Get it wrong, you lose the lot.
Should we have an audio clue?
We should definitely have the audio clue, I think.
Audio,
From a Christian
Yes,
point
please.
of view.
Could we have the audio clue, please, John?
audio clue.
Is this the water music or fireworks? Is this the water music?
No, this is the music of the Royal Fireworks. Who did Fireworks?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry. There you go. Yeah, that's the music of the Royal Fireworks.
Yes.
And that
Okay, and that
she
fits.
was, yeah.
There we go.
OK, well, we think because it fits, I mean, it's a little dismissive to call it frothy pop, but we think it fits the category of frothy pop. We think it's Katy Perry.
Answer incorrectly and you lose the point you've scored. Let us see, for 2 points, whether it is Katy Perry. Katy Perry! Wow, you do play, and play risky. And it scores you 2 points. Singers on buzzers, you scored 7 points out of a possible 12. Congratulations. Very good. Really good. OK, shrewd operators, here is your board of 3 questions. Question 1. Which world leader has a raven tattoo on their upper left arm based on a work of art by Robert Davidson, which they had done to mark their 40th birthday? Question 2. The popular Japanese delicacy basashi is made using the uncooked meat of which animal? Question 3. In The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, what does the time traveller bring back, providing evidence to his dinner companions of his journey to the future? Which question would you like
Right.
to...
Don't like any of those.
No. Could we have a different board?
Right, the world leader with a raven tattoo. Well, Putin's got tattoos, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
call.
and yeah.
Right, we'd like question 1, please, first, John.
Which world leader has a raven tattoo on their upper left arm based on a work of art by Robert Davidson, which they had done to mark their 40th birthday?
I know Putin's got a tattoo or tattoos, but I don't know what they're of and I don't know where they are. So I would say we need a clue. Fact or a different question? But do we not know enough about world leaders?
We know a
to-
bit about world leaders.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe a different
Different question?
Yeah.
Right, OK. John, please can we have a different question?
Different question. Which future world leader played the part of soldier Talbot Papineau in the 2007 film The Great Wall?
Well, that certainly put Putin
Probably
out.
not
It's
Putin,
not
is it?
Putin, is
No.
it? Ah, right. Then in that case, an extra fact, please, John.
Extra fact. Before moving into politics, this person worked as a snowboard instructor.
Oh, hang on. It wouldn't be the Canadian Justin
Oh, yeah.
Trudeau.
Trudeau.
I thought
Snowboard.
but
Should we do multiple choice? And if he comes up, go for him.
Right, we'd like multiple choice, please, John.
Multiple choice.
Yeah.
Jacinda Ardern, Emmanuel Macron, Justin Trudeau,
There he is.
Vladimir Putin.
Right, we're going to be brave. We're going to go for Justin Trudeau.
Let me remind you that if the answer is wrong, then you're out of this round. For 1 point, let's see if Justin Trudeau is the correct answer. Justin Trudeau! Well done. Congratulations.
Should have gone
You've
for
run
it. Oh,
yourselves ragged, but you got there.
Yes.
The director had in mind someone with the characteristics of Justin Trudeau, and after trying other actors, the producers approached him to play the role. There you are. And it scores you 1 point. But you used a rather expensive number 3 of your clues.
we don't know the other two at all, so we should be fine.
Which one of the ones you don't know do you want to tackle next?
OK, the ones we don't know we want to tackle next. Are we going to go for time machine? One?
Yeah.
Yes? Please, can we have question number 3, John?
Question number 3 it is. In The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, what does the time traveller bring back, providing evidence to his dinner companions of his journey to the future?
Right, so we're
The
definitely going to
guess
go for a...
would be tomorrow's newspaper.
Yes, that would be my guess as well. And you've got no idea of this book? No, not...
Well, no, I've read it, but I can't
But you
remember.
can't remember what he
No,
brings back.
no.
OK, we better have a clue then, haven't we?
Yeah.
Can we have the audio?
Whatever you like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, can we have the audio clue, please, John?
Audio clue.
Yes.
I'll bring you flowers in the pouring rain.
Is that what
Right.
the song's called?
Well, no, that's what some of the lyrics are.
Oh.
Do you know
So
what the
keep
song-
singing then. Keep singing to say what's the title of the song.
Worth 3 points?
That's
Should we have
main
the
hook of
last
lyric.
clue then?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have... Can we have the last clue, the redacted text, please?
Redacted text.
Yep.
After women blank
Oh, flowers.
are the most divine creations.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Christine
Flowers.
Dior.
Flowers, please, John.
If it's incorrect, you'll lose even the point you scored.
We know.
Even the point.
Even the 1 point.
For 2 points, let's see if flowers is the correct answer. Flowers. Good. Lovely.
We keep getting one more quiz with the clue than we actually need.
The time traveller shows his dinner companions some strange white flowers from the future, unlike any species known in the present day, and it scores you 2 points. Here's your final question. The popular Japanese delicacy, basashi, is made using the uncooked meat of which animal?
To be fair, we do not know the answer to this. I think we'd be more sensible to pass, please, John.
Fine, you've decided to pass on that. The correct answer is horse, and it's sometimes known as cherry blossom meat, supposedly due to its pink colour. Shrewd operators, you scored 3 points out of a possible 12. That's the end of round 2. Singers on buzzers have a more than impressive 20 points. The shrewd operators have 11 points. In round 3, there are still loads of points on offer for shrewd operators to catch up. Can they do it? Find out after the break. Welcome back to Very Hard Questions, where our teams have been competing for the points they need to secure a top 2 spot on the leaderboard. In round 3, each team will face 5 very hard questions, but now every one of them will be against the clock. Give a wrong answer or run out of time, and you score nothing. Let's play round 3. Singers on buzzers, here's your first very hard question against the clock. Which breed of dog, recognised by its local kennel club at the turn of the last century, is named after a tax collector who wanted an animal to protect him when he was working?
No idea. Anyone?
No.
Should we take a clue?
Yeah, definitely.
What are we going to go for? First letter or definition?
First letter gets
Yeah,
started,
first letter.
doesn't it?
Yeah. John, can we have first letter, please?
First letter is D.
Do you like Doberman? It's a German name.
Dachshund.
Dachshund.
It's not that
It can't be Doberman.
I mean, Doberman
I
is
think it's
more
Doberman.
protecting,
It's
isn't
got to be, hasn't it?
Doberman.
Very,
Yep.
Yeah.
And your answer?
Doberman.
For 3 points, is Doberman correct? Doberman it is. Friedrich Louis Doberman was a tax collector and dog catcher who had the idea to create a breed exhibiting great stamina, strength and intelligence. Well, I think, don't you sum that title up?
We aspire to be Dobermen.
It scored you 3 points. Shrewd operators, here's your first very hard question against the clock. Who was the first woman to be awarded the Order of Merit?
Any ideas?
No.
No.
No? Right. Can we have a picture clue, please?
Picture clue.
Right, that's a little owl. Any women that we can think of owls?
Go
No.
different
Can we have another different question, please, John?
Different question.
Yep.
To whom did Queen Victoria write, "It will be a very great satisfaction to me to make the acquaintance of one who has set so bright an example to our sex"?
I'm guessing it might be Florence Nightingale.
That's what I thought when I saw the owl, but
Are we-
I couldn't work out why.
Are we going for that?
Well, we can go for extra facts.
No.
All right.
We're going to say Florence Nightingale.
For 2 points, is Florence Nightingale the correct answer? Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was awarded the Order of Merit in 1907 for distinguished achievement. We saw a picture of an owl because she had a pet owl named Athena, whom she rescued after it fell from a nest at the Parthenon in Athens. And it has scored you 2 points.
thank you.
Singers on buzzers, here's your second very hard question against the clock. What was the title of the 1947 book created by Henri Matisse that included prints of his paper cutouts, which he created when ill health affected his ability to paint?
Oh, I can't remember.
No idea.
Oh, OK.
We might as well take it. If we don't know,
That's
we might as
in
well
the.
take it.
That's in the.
If you want.
Can we please have related words?
Related words.
Yes.
Whiplash, hands, miles.
I mean,
No,
it means
not.
as in we'd be guessing from it. We don't know the answer.
OK. How about extra fact?
Yeah, go.
John, please, can we have the extra fact?
Extra fact, the title is also the name of a music genre developed in the US.
Bluegrass?
Whiplash is the jazz. It's jazz musician, isn't it? Is it jazz?
Whiplash.
Yeah. It's jazz.
For 2 points, is jazz the correct answer? Jazz! Honestly. Your related words were Whiplash. The Damien Chazelle film Whiplash is about a drummer in a jazz band. Hands, jazz hands, are used in dance. Miles Davis was a leading jazz performer. And it has scored you 2 points. Shrewd operators, here's your second very hard question against the clock. In November 2000, it was announced that which position, formally established in 1361, would be advertised publicly for the first time.
Any ideas?
First
No?
letter.
OK. Can we have first letter, please, John?
First letter, B.
Black Rod?
Oh. Advertised probably for the first time? Was Black Rod
I've no idea.
Oh, can we have another clue, do we think?
Yeah, another
Yes.
clue.
Can we have add words, please?
Add words, parliamentary.
Yeah,
I would say that. Yeah? Black Rod.
For 2 points, is Black Rod the correct answer? It is. It is. The post was originally filled by a gentleman famous in arms and blood. And it has secured you 2 more points. Singers on buzzers, here's your third very hard question against the clock. The sheriff, played by Michael Ontkean in the 1990s TV drama series Twin Peaks, shares his name with which famous figure?
Oh, I can't remember. No.
We'll get extra fact, maybe?
Extra fact, a different question?
Different question will be the
Different question?
figure.
Do you think you
Okay.
remember it from
I
the
have
first
to,
letter?
so-
Different question.
Different question. The headquarters of the US State Department is housed in a building named after which former president who died on Boxing Day, 1972?
Harry
Carter,
Harry
Hoover?
Truman?
Is it,
I mean,
Hoover?
that's-
Is it Hoover?
Does that?
I would get an extra fact.
Can we have an extra fact, please?
Extra fact. After fighting in the First World War, this person married Elizabeth Wallace and was elected a Democratic senator in 1934.
Bessie Truman. I think it's Bessie Truman, isn't it? As opposed to. Yeah, Truman.
Truman. Harry S. Truman.
For 2 points, is Harry S. Truman the correct answer? Harry S. Truman it is. Got, and it scored you 2 points. Shrewd operators, here's your third very hard question against the clock. The completion of which novel published by Charles Scribner's Sons is said to have been assisted by the author seeing the dust jacket that had been designed for $100 by Francis Cougar?
Gosh.
Any
We'll have a
ideas?
clue. No, get a clue.
So I get a clue. Right, which clue should we have?
Picture clue.
Picture clue, please, John.
What's the clue coming up?
Daisy, right.
Novels with Daisy in. Daisy pulls it off.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy?
Let's go for an extra fact, shall we?
Can we have an extra fact, please, John?
Extra fact. The design is known by the title Celestial Eyes.
Gosh.
Get the other.
And can we have
Definition.
definition, please, John?
Definition. The 1925 novel with characters including Jordan Baker and Myrtle Wilson.
I would say Driving Miss Daisy. Driving Miss Daisy.
For 1 point, is Driving Miss Daisy the correct answer?
Oh.
Incorrect. Any ideas, singers on buzzers?
Is it Great Gatsby?
The Great Gatsby is the correct answer.
Wow.
That is a picture of a daisy because one of the main characters in The Great Gatsby is called Daisy Buchanan. Shrewd operators, bad luck. You scored no points. Singers on buzzers, here's your fourth very hard question against the clock. Which public space created over many years from 1858 was co-designed by the landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted, who had been inspired by a visit to northwest England?
I'm reasonably sure it's Central Park.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not
So
super
what should
sure.
we do? Take a different question?
That feels like a decent shout.
We just go
I'd
for it?
rather have 3 points
Not
than no
more.
points.
Yeah. Different question, please, John.
Different question. Harmon Mere and the Delacourt Theatre are features of which public space?
Well, that sounds right.
got
It
that.
does sound like it's got
Yeah,
to
I
be.
think
We think?
That's
So,
New York.
Central Park.
For 3 points, is Central Park the correct answer? Central Park it is. Central Park was inspired by Birkenhead Park in Merseyside, which is generally acknowledged as the first publicly funded civic park in the world. And it scored you 3 points. Shrewd operators, here's your fourth very hard question against the clock. Which country is home to the people of the Yauninen area on the island of Tanna, who have worshipped Prince Philip as a divine being?
Right, do you know this?
Poor people.
Do you know this?
No, I don't.
Right, we don't know this
Have
at
a
all.
different
Okay.
question.
We'd like a different question, please.
Different question. Which country was known as the New Hebrides until it gained independence in 1980?
Oh, gosh. Any ideas?
First letter, go first.
Can we have the first letter, please, John?
First letter, V.
Vanuatu. Vanuatu.
Vanuatu.
For 2 points, is Vanuatu the correct answer? Jolly good. Jolly good. Very impressive. Tribal prophecies told that a descendant of their spirit ancestors would be married to a powerful woman. When they heard of the esteem Queen Elizabeth was held in, they decided her husband must be the descendant. And it has secured you 2 points. Singers on buzzers, here's your final, very hard question against the clock. Barbara Windsor and Ronnie Corbett were in the original London cast of the 1965 musical by Lionel Bart that centres on which character, played by James Booth?
Right.
Lionel Bart wrote Oliver.
He did write Oliver, but
Bit early-
I
bit
don't
early-
think there are
bit earlier
parts.
than that.
I think there are parts in Oliver for Ronnie Corbett and Bart. Let's go for a definition.
Go on. Go on.
Definition, please, yeah.
Definition. Character that's been played on screen by Carrie Elwes and Taron Egerton.
Camelot?
Is the play just called Robin Hood? I assume it's just called Robin Hood. You just say Robin Hood?
Go on.
What about Camelot? Oh, no, that's
Right.
Robin Hood.
For 3 points, is Robin Hood the correct answer? Robin Hood. The Robin Hood musical called Twang was sadly not a success and only ran for 5 weeks. And it has secured you 3 points. Shrewd operators, here's your final very hard question against the clock. Who makes an uncredited cameo appearance in the 2007 film Hot Fuzz, dressed as a knife-wielding Father Christmas who injures the character played by Simon Pegg?
Do you know this?
No, I don't.
Right, we're going to have to another. Can we have a picture clue, please?
Picture clue.
Oh, well, it's King Kong.
Someone associated with King Kong, so maybe Peter Jackson.
Do you want
You
a
wouldn't know
different
it
question?
was.
Go for a different
We'll
question.
have a different question, please.
Different question.
Yeah.
Who directed the 1994 film Heavenly Creatures, in which Kate Winslet
Peter
made her
Jackson.
feature film debut?
We're Peter Jackson.
For 2 points, is Peter Jackson the correct answer? Peter Jackson. Well, you're on form as we move towards the end of this wonderful contest. Kate Blanchett also made a cameo as Nicholas Angel's ex-girlfriend, Janine, and it has secured you 2 points. That's the end of round 3, so let's look at the scores. Singers on buzzers are in the lead with 33 points, and shrewd operators have 19 points. Teams, you now have one last chance to win some all-important points. Need I remind you, only the 2 highest-scoring teams from the entire series will contest the grand final and battle it out for £5,000 and the series champion trophy. Let's play the very hardest question. Now you'll play on the buzzer against each other, and only one team can walk away with the points. I will reveal a question. If you think you know the answer, buzz in. Answer correctly and win yourself 8 points. I will continue revealing clues until someone answers the question correctly, but the points on offer will reduce each time a clue is revealed. Answer incorrectly and your team will be locked out of the remainder of the clues. Fingers on buzzers, here is the very hardest question. The command module of Apollo 15 that encountered a problem with a parachute on its return to Earth had what call sign? Anyone answer for 8 points?
When did they get to the moon? 15? Because that was
11.
First up, add words, which is also the name of a crater on Mars that is about 14 miles across.
I just don't know.
Anyone answer for 7 points?
No, I don't.
Your next clue is a picture.
No, it'd be America. What is that link?
No, it's definitely Lincoln. Isn't it?
Can anyone answer for 6 points? Here comes an extra fact. The space shuttle, which shares this name, completed its 25th and final mission in June 2011.
So that's going to be Endeavour Enterprise.
Steve, you know what it is?
Columbia.
For 5 points. Let's see if you're right. Bad luck, that's incorrect, alas. So you're locked out for the remainder of the clues. Singers on buzzers. Your next clue is redacted text.
Okay.
Polygamy and blank to get more out of life than there is in it.
Yeah, never know.
Elbert Hubbard. Pete.
Endeavour.
So for 4 points, is Endeavour correct?
Come on. Come on.
Endeavour it is. Congratulations, singers on buzzers. That scores you 4 points. We saw a picture of the statue of James Cook at the National Maritime Museum, Greenwich. Cook captained HMS Endeavour, after which the module was named. And that's it. That's the end of the show. And here are the final scores. In second place, with a score of 19, we have Shrewd Operators. But today's winner, with a score of 37, It's Singers on Buzzers. Well, you seem to be a diverse team in what you bring to the table, and that is what works so well, beautifully. So many, many congratulations.
Thank you, John.
You're all competing for a place in the series final where the top two teams will face each other. So let's see where those scores have now put you on the leaderboard. After 9 shows of high-class quizzing, we have our Very Hard Questions finalists. An exceptional performance by Singers on Buzzers sees them take top spot on the leaderboard, with Einsteins dropping into second place, just 1 point behind. That will be some final. Congratulations, Singers on Buzzers. I mean, what does it feel like to be top of the leaderboard?
Oh, it's delightful. Yeah, I mean, it's really flattering. It's very exciting. It means that we're really looking forward to getting another go.
Well, congratulations, both teams, because without you, they wouldn't have the stimulus, and with you, they've had the joy. So, thanks, guys. Really tremendous. Really wonderful. Join me next time for the grand final, where the last 2 teams standing will go head-to-head for the crown of Very Hard Questions Series champion. And finally, I leave you with this very hard question. Why do we say an alarm clock is going off when it's really coming on? Goodbye.